I know, Jarmo, you're a pro, and I even said this, that I know it's just, round one, and you have 3 more to go before, there can be an ultimate celebration. But how are you feeling the day after winning a series and doing it in a sweep?
Well, it was great. It was great for our franchise. It was great for the team, great for the city of Columbus. They've been stirring for a long time for some playoff success. And we got our first step in now, and now we just got to enjoy it for a couple of days and get back to work and move on.
Well, and another thing that we haven't mentioned yet is that it's the first time in Columbus Blue Jacket franchise history that they've even won a playoff series. So that's also an accomplishment. We had you on shortly after you had made all the deals as well. Matt Duchene, Dzingel, McQuaid. You were very busy. You were the busiest team trade deadline. And you knew making all those moves that all the eyes were going to be on you. And then it was getting a little dicey at the end of the regular season. We're like, are they going to make it? Are they going to make it? You did. You also held on to Bobrovsky, Panarin, knowing their situation, and the team was able to still go along smoothly and not make that a distraction. But do you think in any way that you've maybe set the tone for GMs to say, listen, go big or go home. Don't be afraid to make moves?
Well, I don't think, there's a lot of smart GMs around the league, and they do always what's best for their organization, for their franchise. We just felt that with these two great players in Bobrovsky and Panarin that we had now and maybe for the last season, let's go for it. Let's try to strengthen our team the best we can since we made the decision to keep them. And help us get to the playoffs, and then give us the best opportunity to get some playoff success as well. And, yeah, it was a little dicey at the end of the regular season, but we did get 98 points, and we're 16 games over 500. So we had a pretty decent regular season overall. It just got so tight in the East that it was hard to get in. And it just shows you how great the NHL is these days, the parity of the league and what the league wanted with the salary cap system and the drafting and all that. It is hard to make the playoffs. There are a lot of good teams that didn't even get an opportunity to play in the playoffs. And it's just great for the sport of hockey.
So Jarmo, take us back to those moments. I mean, in the span between making all those deals, going all in, for lack of a better term, and then having your playoff spot solidified, there were some dicey moments as you talk about. I mean, what did that do for you, just for your daily life, when you're sitting out of the playoffs on some of those days, having pushed all the chips into the middle of the table?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said that I was just being cool and enjoying the ride. There were some moments where it was a bit nerve-wracking, but we believed in our group. We had the whole year. We had some great stretches. We didn't really get on a roll until at the end there. I think we'd won 5 games in a row. It was our best stretch there in the regular season before we got to the end and went 7-1. We knew we pretty much had to go 6-2 at the end, so it wasn't an easy task. We beat some good teams along the way there when we started rolling. Had a bit of a setback when we lost to Boston at home, but we were able to make it in the second last game in the Madison Square Garden after the shootout when they tied the game 7 seconds to go. There were some moments where I was like, "Oh my Lord!" But it all came together at the end, and now we're in the playoffs and going into the second round. So it's all worth it. If you never try anything, you'll never make any mistakes, and let's say you'll never accomplish anything either. And I try to keep that as a philosophy in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Not only with my job, but everything else, too.
It's a good philosophy to have. Jarmo Kekalainen, the Columbus Blue Jackets GM, is joining us here. What's also pretty tricky right now is the time in between series. This is so easy to get completely high, right? And be like, not only did we win the first round, we swept, and we did it against the best regular season team, but not just that, the best team since the 95-96 Detroit Red Wings, right? So now your mind starts to go. It's the time in between where you can do a lot of thinking. How do John Tortorella, what is the message to the team to basically say there's still a long road ahead?
Well, I'm 100% sure that we'll have our feet on the ground, and John Tortorella with his staff we'll make sure that we are fully aware of how tough of an opponent we will have in the second round, no matter if it's Toronto or Boston. We're going to be the underdogs again. We're going to have to prove ourselves again, day after day, game by game. And that mindset's not going to change. And like I said, we're going to enjoy this for a day or two. Then we're going to get back to work. It'll give us a chance to get a couple of the guys that were banged up a bit, some healing time and some injuries. Will have some time to mend here. So it'll be used wisely. But we'll be practicing hard. We'll be getting ready for the second round, and we know how tough it's going to get. And we'll be waiting to see who we're going to play and where we travel.
Well, come on now, Jarmo. You don't think you can actually get away with framing your team as the poor underdog after you knock off the Lightning in a sweep, do you?
Oh, we're underdogs. For sure.
He's going to go with that. So do we need an umbrella over the bench so John Tortorella doesn't get beer, champagne, juice, or anything spilled on him again?
I don't think he minded last night, but let's just leave it at that. But they've done a tremendous job, the whole staff there, and John Tortorella, obviously. And we've gone through a lot as a team this year, and I think that because of the adversity we faced and because of some of the process we had to go through to become a team, I think we're stronger because of it. And that's what it's all about. It's a great sport. It has to be a team. Doesn't matter what your roster is on paper or what kind of stars you have if you don't play as a team.
Very, very true. Well, enjoy the time off, rest up. Good luck in round two, and hopefully we're still chatting in round two because that means we're still covering the Toronto Maple Leafs. So thanks so much, Jarmo, for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.